what's going on? It's Miguel. Re-recording this bitch, dude. Audio is cooked. Anyways, that doesn't matter. You don't give a fuck. Anyways, why you should listen to me before I even try to explain to you how to sell done with you and done for you services. I've sold over 1 million myself in closed revenue. Okay, so kind of know what the hell I'm talking about. Sort of. I'm kind of there. 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. That's good enough. She's a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? But that being said, enough getting off topic. Like I said, closed over $1 million in revenue for done with you and done for you services. Everything from fucking TikTok shop to Airbnb to procurement and staffing. Okay, so it works for a bunch of different shit. Most of y'all don't even know what procurement is. You know what I mean? So it works. But that being said, this framework really applies to any sort of offer. So if you're whether you're actual owner of an offer, like a biz op offer, or you're a closer on one, this is going to absolutely smash it. I don't want to take credit for building this because I did not. Was I running something similar to this before? No, but but it wasn't as detailed as this. So I actually got this from Davin Choi, who's been trained by everyone and their damn mother from what I've seen. He's always posted up a different sales guy. So I don't even know where he got this. Okay, but that being said, I'm going to break down for you today this entire framework. I don't know if I'm going to split this up into parts. You'll probably know by the title, or if I'm going to drop this as a whole and just fucking long ass banger. We'll see. We'll see what my folks say. But that being said, I'm going to go over tone switches. I'm going to go over why we're doing what we're doing in the first place, and ultimately how the hell we're going to get the close there. Because I've closed it over a 50% rate on some done with you and done for you offers because of switching to this framework. The framework I was using beforehand was very similar, but there were some little nuances that I changed. My close rate literally jumped by 20%. Okay, I went from doing 8K a month on the offer I was on to doing like 12 to 15. So that being said, the shit works. Anyways, first week I implemented this 4K in commissions, so shit's cracked. But that being said, let's go through it. Answers plus outcomes I'm looking for B2C. Tangible outcome. Let's get real specific here with what they want. So if you're half decent at sales or you know anything about it, when somebody says they want to make more money, why? Why the fuck do we want to make more money? Make it contextual to them. Don't want surface level ancillaries such as financial freedom, but we'll learn about that more in the framework. What they need help on, what they want out of the offer, what they need help on to get there, problem your offer solves, and what experience shapes their need to get help on that. So what happens for you in order to even want to get help on this, basically. No shit. And then we go deeper into their current situation. What system process are they currently doing to experience that? If it's not making a lot of money, what is your job that's causing that? How long have you been doing your job? What caused you to do your job in the first place? Or why are you still in your job and not running a business? There you go. That's pretty simple. Then we go into problem awareness. Uncover the tangible problem. Okay, for example, if someone says, I don't have, it's just a time constraint. Oh, time? Like how much time are you spending with that? Oh, and then why is that, and how does that impact you? Blah blah blah, and that's how you get more into depth there, which I'll see here. So uncover tangible problem examples being not getting enough leads. Leads aren't showing up. Bad credit score. Not looking to buy. Leads aren't showing up. Leads are not showing up. Well, that's already there, I think. Anyways, uncover root cause of problem. Word of mouth is not consistent. Current agency is selling us leads that have already been called by 5 different companies. Uncover how long the problem's been going on. Example, 2 months, 6 months. Uncover the tangible impact of the problem. So if someone's doesn't have enough leads, the root cause of that problem is they're going off of referrals, so word of mouth, and that has been inconsistent for them. They've been dealing with this since the beginning of their company, so 9 months now. The tangible impact is because of the lack of lead flow, they're not able to scale, not able to invest resources into their business, to be able to run ads, be able to bring folks on and grow their business and ultimately scale to the numbers that they want to. How is this impacting you? So uncovering the emotional impact of the problem. It's frustrating, it's stressful, it's not letting me create my life that I want for my family, kids, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're going to go through this in detail, but I hope that kind of makes sense. So from there, we're going to go into pre-handle. So finding the underlying objection, handle that objection and reframe. So we'll go over this a little bit, but you can also say pre-framing, pre-handling. My mentor I'm currently working with, he says pre-frame. It's the same shit, right? So you're just getting them to have a mindset switch before you get into your pitch, and with a tailored pitch to them. So we're doing ideal criteria as well. So pre-handling the underlying self-belief and why your offer is different, or put the responsibility back on them if they were blaming external circumstances in the first place and they had bad mindset issues, because as I'm sure you'll see on BizOp offers, people will come there, they either have a lack of skill or a lack of skill. It's usually a lack of skill, but either a skill in the self belief format and their ability in themselves, or they lack a skill to go and apply. So if you blame the skill itself and it not working in general, well, usually your marketing would want to be handling that, but you'd be able to handle that and why the program differentiates and how it worked for XYZ. Why wouldn't it be able to work for you? Stuff like that. And you're able to frame them properly before you get into the ideal criteria. So what are they actually valuing in a program in order to help them out, and going into detail there. Okay, and if they were actually able to get help on that, and they were able to fix it, what would be your income goal? What's your tangible goal there? What are you actually looking to achieve out of this? And emotionally, how would that make you feel if you get there, and why is that important to you? Okay, and then since we understand the goal and where we're looking to go, what's the cost of inaction of not taking the steps necessary in order to achieve that goal? So that's why we go to cost of inaction, build a huge gap there, and then we'll go into pitch. Okay, this is where we tailor the pitch to them, and that's why I really like this framework, is because when we're pre-handling the objection, we get the frame, we fit them in the frame of mind we want them to be in. We have all the ammo from problem awareness, having to be aware of their current situation, tangible outcome, where they're actually looking to go, and what's been preventing them to get there. We've also helped them play out in their mind the situation that would occur if they applied this program properly, which works, that they've agreed to working and they've seen it work. And then on top of that, on the other side, like the type of person who doesn't apply this, right? And if they want to be that individual, what's the cost of that truly, of not achieving your goals and what we outlined earlier? Okay, so and if you can curate the pitch and reuse their words as ammo, you're going to deal with less objections. Okay, and the objections you do get are bullshit and they're easy to handle. And that's why I also want to scroll down here to this note. Every objection is about money. Get logistical first, then go down the fear. Always, if they think about it, they will think about money. If they want to talk to the partner, they will talk about money. If they say time, you just suck and need training, because if you can't pre-handle time, then you suck at sales and you need to quit at that point. You are not allowed to get a time objection. That was Davin's words. I took out the cuss words on that, but he is right. Okay. And like I said here, go logistical first, and then you would go down the fear. It's usually always going to be fear, to be honest. Because you get payment plans, right? Unless they're just absolutely fucking broke, but that's a lead problem. That's a marketing problem. That's a fucking funnel problem. But you're going to get the guys who are broke slip through the cracks. But hopefully you can identify that halfway through the call. Anyways, I like to pre-handle, spouse objection usually at the beginning of the call, which isn't here. But, feel free to not pre-handle spouse if you want to get fucked on the phone or fucked on the Zoom. That being said, let's get into the actual nitty-gritty here. First stage we're going to start with here is tangible outcome. So as we see here, hey, can you hear and see me okay? Amazing how the call is going. Looks, you booked my calendar, but possibly get help with XYZ, sales training, for example. Now, the first part of this call is really to find out a little bit more about your background, as far as what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, where you're looking to go, so see if we can actually help. Fair enough. So real quick, with the opener. So something that's super important here is we don't need to ask them about their weekend, their fucking dog, their day, and all that. It needs to be 5 seconds. Like, hey, can you hear me and see me okay? Awesome, man. Like, welcome to the call. How's it going? Good, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it looks like you booked in my calendar about possibly getting help with, some sales training, right? Perfect. Well, now the first part of this call is blah, blah, blah. And then that's when you go into framing the call, right? And understanding we're taking control. Because if we go off on a tangent, we're all buddy and shit at the beginning, they're not going to view you as an authority versus you getting straight into it. So, a good one I like the default to is you can just go with, how's it going, man? How's your day going? Or you could also go into something like, I see on your form here, you're based in XYZ. How is it? Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's awesome here. I'm actually in Bangkok right now myself. So, and then they might ask you a question about that. I'm like, yeah, it's lovely, brother. But also, by the way, it looks like you booked in the calendar about possibly getting your help with XYZ offer. Is that right? All right, awesome, cool. And you don't need to state where you're at, especially if you're not somewhere cool. I mean, I'm in Bangkok right now, Thailand. So usually people are pretty interested in that, and they think it's cool as fuck. So I always bring it up. If I'm in somewhere cool, like when I used to live in Miami, I would do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not anywhere super interesting, you can just ask them where they're at and then just go straight into it. Also remember to tone match and be one above them. So if they're coming, and this is basics, I mean, this is kind of advanced level shit, but if someone's like at a 6 out of 10 on the call, energy wise, 7 out of 10, don't come in there at a fucking 3, 4. It's not attractive. But if they're also a 2 to 3, don't come in at a 7, 8, right? You want to come in a 1 to 2 levels above them. For example, most people are coming in at a 6 to 7. You come in at 7 and 8. And what that looks like actually is like, hey, John, can you hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear you, man. I'm excited to get to talking to you. How's it going? Amazing, man. Welcome to the call. How are you doing? I'm fantastic. And they'll be like, awesome, never better, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So the tones sound cool. Cool as in on track versus if they come onto the fucking call, like, you're like, hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, how's it going? I'm doing all right. Amazing. How are you doing today? Where are you from? Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm from XYZ. Okay, perfect, bro. Well, I'm actually in Bangkok myself, but that being said, looks like you booked in my calendar about possibly getting help with XYZ. Is that right? Yeah, I'm ready to get help with that. All right, awesome. Now the first part of this call is it's just there's just too much of a gap. All right, I hope that ingrained into for you there. Having the vibe, matching the vibe, positioning yourself as your authority right off the bat is important. Obviously, I'm not going to get too deep into everything else about having a good background, having good lighting, having a good setup. But a big part of sales is conviction and positioning. So if you can position yourself and get conviction and have conviction on the phone and understand how to match energy, it's going to go a long ass way. All right. Now we're going to get into the granular tactical stuff. Enough of me fucking giving you intros and shit. But from there, once we kind of get we initially frame the call, we feel the vibe out, we make sure we're matching their tone. Say, now the first part of this call is for us to find a little bit more about your background as far as what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, and really what you're looking for to see if we can actually help. All right, so sound fair enough? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so what did you either hear or see about TJR that made you want to book in the conversation and look this further? Oh, I love how he drops the N word. Some bullshit like that. I mean, that sounds retarded as fuck. But what did you hear either about influencer that made you want to book in conversation to look further? I gave an example there, it was a little ridiculous, but to be honest, this doesn't really matter too much. Now, if you set the individual, don't be a dumbass and be like, so how did you get up upon this call? Like, obviously we had a conversation surrounding, X, Y, Z. So, what what are your thoughts on this and that? So what I mean by that is you can get specific here. So this is just a general framework, of course, but if you are on an offer or if you're an info owner and you're closing, setting, doing all the work, or you're somebody who's triaging, right? And you know why they're on this call already. This question doesn't need to be so broad as to why they're getting on to here. So if you already know kind of what your ICP's pain point is, and you fucking should, you can just go into a particular problem that they're facing and ask them about that. So what that looks like is if this is a lead gen offer, okay, see if we could actually help. Sound fair enough? Cool. So rather than they say, yeah, that sounds good. So rather than you going, what did you hear about influencer? Book this conversation, you could hit them with, yeah, so I understand you're struggling with lead flow currently. That being said, what are we currently doing now about that? Blah 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 blah. Okay, and when it comes to joining XYZ, what are you looking to get out of this in order to help XYZ problem? You could go into it that way. But let me continue the framework. I just wanted to make that as a caveat and note. But this video is mainly for people closing on a normal B2C offer. So with traditional organic traffic or ads. So anyways, what did you either see about XYZ influencer that made you want to book in conversation looking this further? They're going to give you the answer. Okay, and what's the main thing you're looking to achieve when it comes to joining Day Trader Academy and starting day trading personally? Nice example. So a lot of the time here, people are going to give you bullshit answers, but obviously if they start giving you something super contextual to them and that's a tangible outcome, will be good. And what does that actually come in the form of? So if someone gives you a bullshit answer, we'll delineate the two first. So when someone says a bullshit answer, they're going to usually be like, yeah, I'm trying to make more money. Yeah, of course. I mean, nobody comes to us to make more money, man. So for you, what does making more money do for you personally? You see what I'm saying? So there's the surface level things like make more money, time, location, freedom, shit like that. But you want to make it contextual to them and how does that actually impact them as a person? Because we all have different things, right? So you could say, yeah, of course, when nobody comes to make money, what does that do for you personally? Where I also do, and yeah, look, we're all trying to make more money, right? But what type of guy are you? Trying to pop bottles and whip Lambos, show out the club, or you trying to give back to children in Gaza or something? Like, what are you doing? So you can introduce some humor there. You know, give the children in Gaza might be a little ridiculous, but that being said, um, you can just say some funny shit. It doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure we're getting them to actually express themselves. And I like to introduce humor at every single part of the call. Not every single part, but especially in these initial phases when I'm getting the tangible outcome and setting frame and getting intro, because it warms them up to me to express themselves more and more and more. And then I'll also try to position myself as an authority figure, right? So when I was there, when I did this, stuff like that, which we'll get into later on. Anyways, yeah. So what's the outcome you want out of this, out of that? So if someone says, "I'm just trying to learn more and get smarter," yeah. So like ultimately, why are you trying to get smarter, right? Like why are you trying to get better at sales in the first place? Okay, gotcha, man. I understand you're trying to get better with day trading, but what are you looking to get out of becoming a better day trader and ultimately becoming profitable? Oh, so I'm looking to make more money. Oh, okay, so making more money, what would that be for you? Oh, well, if I made more money, then it would give me more freedom. Freedom, like, how does that look? Oh, well, freedom as in like currently right now I'm doing blah 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 and stuff like that. And then that's when you would get into current situation, right? It's a good way to segue. But before I get into that, let's go to the I don't know. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, typically when students come to us, they look to either make more money, have more time freedom, et cetera, right? So what does that kind of look like for you? So that way, when somebody says you bullshit like I don't know, which somebody tells you I don't know why I hopped on this call, you better fucking run, bro. Those are close rate just drops. That you either, dude, Indians and I don't knows are the toughest. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, you know. But if somebody hits you with that, you just kind of relate it to how other people who have joined the program and what they achieved out of it, and then they'll kind of get into their why. Okay. Anyways, all right. So now that we got the tangible outcome, now let's elaborate, have them elaborate on it. All right. So now we know what current situation they're in and what they're actually looking to get out of this. So let's get them to explain themselves further. So what do you do for work at the moment, man? Like for example, if they say, "Oh, I want to look into day trading. I just want to get smarter." Oh, okay. Well, why do you want to get better at day trading? So I can become profitable and make more money. What for? Oh, so that way I don't have to work for someone else anymore and I can give back to my family. Oh, okay, man. So it's just like, what do you do for work at the moment? See how that segues, right, into current situation. So they'll give you what they're currently doing at the moment, and you'll find kind of the problem that they have with it, because that's the problem, right? It's the problem is they're doing something they fucking hate. Nobody who loves their job and loves their life is going to hop on a damn BizOp offer call. I know when I bought sales courses and sales training and agency trainings, anytime I've hopped on a fucking offer, I was probably the most depressed I ever was. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but for those of us who have been blessed to be in the online space enough to start making some money online, you have to remember these people fucking hate their lives, bro. Like these people do not want to be. You want to dig ditches? Do you want to work at 7-Eleven? No, neither do they. Okay, so we want to help them, right? So what do you do for work at the moment? Oh, I dig ditches. Oh shit, that's what I think when I hear that. I'm like, sorry about that, bro. I'm just, damn, sorry about that, man. Like, how long you been doing that for? I'll say some asshole shit, but usually you would just go into how long you've been doing that for and get how long they've been doing it. They gave you the time frame, and then you'll go into, is this more of a cash on the side thing or looking to eventually transition to full time? Taking these off. And what I mean by that is like we're able to get, is day trading something they're really looking to take serious and make a full time gig, or is this something they're just wanting to do on the side? If someone says they're doing it on the side, um, I'm usually doing something a little different. When somebody says, yeah, I actually just like to do this on the side. I really like my corporate role at the moment. No, I got you, man. I got you. And then like you could go into do you like it? And then you can ultimately get why they're like going to be on the call. What I used to do before this, and like I still slip to it sometimes, and it works too. You could also be like, I got you, man. And like, how much would you be needing to make with something like XYZ to even potentially leave your full time job? Probably like blah 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 blah, and you could go that route. Okay, but if you want to keep it simple, just follow the framework. You don't need to go off track. That's just what I was doing before this, and I do find that this is a little easier, a little better. the way you handle problem awareness. But you can go down that track if that's something you want to do. Anyways, if they give, and it's more of a cash thing, something to transition to full time. Oh, I want to do this full time if I could, man. I got you. So like with what you're doing now, digging ditches, do you like that? You're usually gonna get no. But if they do say yes, for example, yeah, man, I absolutely love digging ditches. It's my favorite. I love fucking sweating my ass off and making 5K, 4K a month working 60 hours. Cool, man. Like, I don't know, what do you like about it? Is it sweat? Is it the 60 hours? No, I mean, I just really like to work hard and get better. Good answer. All right. Oh man, fair enough. So it doesn't sound like things are going too terrible then. So like, what's the main reason for you wanting to get into day trading in the first place, rather than just doubling down on what you're currently doing with digging ditches in order to achieve 10, 15K a month and achieve financial freedom? And usually they're just not able to do it in their current vehicle, and that's the whole fucking point we're trying to get them to understand. Is if you're in your current vehicle, you wouldn't be on this call if you thought it could get you to where you want to go. All right, and we got to get them to get uncomfortable and make a fucking choice, which is going to be buying the program. All right, so then if they say, "Do you like it?" and they're unsure, well, let's start with the positives, man. Man, like, what do you like about it? If we ask, do they like it? Like, man, it's all right. I don't really know if I like it or don't like it. I'm just kind of whatever. I'm blase blah. I don't even know if I use that correctly. Well, then let's start with the positives. Okay, and then you can transition them into what they like. Okay, and if they say no, we're still trying to get them to give us the problem um, in the first place. So if you're like, do you like that, man? Like, do you like digging ditches? No, I fucking hate it. It sucks. I'm not a fan. Usually they'll just give you the why not if they say no. Like, nah, man, I'm not really a fan. Okay, well, why not? So like, to be honest with you, bro, they're never gonna go into outcome here. Like, I'd rarely get people to go into outcome, but if you do, we can play that out. But let's go to where they usually give you the problem first. So if you say, "Oh, why not?" then they give you the problem. Because I hate my life doing it. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm trying to work until I'm 50, 70, and not be able to retire my family and blah blah blah. What do you mean? How do you mean about like? What do you mean like XYZ problem? Whatever they gave you, right? And this is when you would start probing. If you don't know probing questions, go ask ChatGPT. That motherfucker knows them all. All right. So then you go from there. They expand on their problem and why they don't like it. And then you go back at the how long have you been doing it? Damn, man, how long has you not been liking doing? Like, how long has that problem been going on for? Because sometimes people will say, like, my manager's an asshole, my manager's a dick. Like, damn, man, like, how long has your manager been an asshole for? Been like a year. Well, they've been doing the job for 3 years. Oh, wow. A year? Damn. And then this is where you kind of have tone switches, right? So for me, I'm really high. I come in excited, but this is where you can really control the call and the course of it through your energy. And that's why I was saying energy and conviction early on the call. I was trying to stress it because it's super important. Okay, so they're going to give you obviously what their issue is. Okay, and then they're going to expand on their issue. You're going to get them to express how long their issue has been, and then you want to really be empathetic with them here, and have them really repeat how long they've been doing it. All right, so they understand. Like if somebody, so if they say, yeah, blah blah blah, blah, I'm dealing with my manager that he's kind of an asshole. How do you mean he's an asshole? Well, the other day, say it's a girl, for example, who tried hitting on me, and then I didn't reciprocate it back to him, and I made a little mistake at work. He wrote me up, and that hurts my pay, and now I can't get promoted for 90 days, even though I was looking to get promoted soon. And it's just really upsetting knowing that someone else has control of my life. Wow, that sucks. Like, sorry that that's happening to you, but like, how long has that been going on for? Yeah, well, he's actually been an asshole to me for quite a while, trying to hit on me. That was kind of the final straw, but I'd say I've been there for like 2 years, and it's been about the past year or so. He's been really bad to me. Wow, you've been there for 2 years and he's been doing it for that long? A whole year? A whole year? Yeah, a whole year. Wow, wow. Like, and and being that you've experienced, an asshole manager who's kind of making the workplace uncomfortable and taking control of your situation, and making your 40 hours, 50 hours a week unenjoyable. That's a lot of time to not be enjoying your life. Like for 6 months, a year, 2 years, like how's that been affecting you? You see what I'm saying? And you can really get to them to express themselves. Okay, so then they'll express how the problem's affecting them. For example, she would say, um, yeah, like, it makes me not feel as confident. Makes me feel uncomfortable. It hurts my feelings, makes me feel anxious and stressed that I have XYZ. I can't make the money I want in order to achieve this goal. And then you would be like, no, that makes sense. And speak to a lot of people, right? And I know some people just go to try things on their own, such as day trading, and but what makes you want to join this and get help rather than just trying to figure it out on your own? Because I want to get there faster and get out of my job quicker so I can start making 10 to 15K a month so I don't have to keep working this job with XYZ pervert. Boom. Snipes. All right. Play that whole situation. I'm not going to go too in depth here. All right. All right. Like Central C. But, all right. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm not too all over the place. I'm a little tism, but, it works. But I robbed the bank say, if you know who that is, he was like, if you want to build something big, you got to have some people with tism on your team. So if you're trying to build something big, insert ad, book a call down below if you need help implementing this, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. DM me the word tism. All right. All right. Let's start with the positives. What do you like about it? So they give you unsure. I like this, and then you go into outcome. And what I mean by this is like if you say business model rather than just doubling down what you're doing, you get XYZ outcome. And then they say, like, why not? They give you the outcome they're looking for. Blah blah blah. Am I being retarded right now? Let me move. So why not get XYZ outcome? What are you doing now? Okay, still get the outcome. Honestly, like, don't even worry about this. I'll be real. Like, I don't ever get this problem. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm just like just looking into," it's just the only bad thing you'd get really. If someone's like, "Do you like it?" and you're like, "No," they're like, "Oh, why not?" Um, they're never gonna give you an outcome. But let's go on the other track. I say they like this. Oh, fair enough, man. Things aren't going terrible. What's the reason behind you doing day trading rather than just doubling down what you're doing to XYZ? Well, I'm still doubling down to get XYZ. I was just looking into it. Okay, well, why not just get XYZ outcome of what you're doing now? Oh, I can. Right, I can still do it. No, I got you, man. Like, what have you seen with your job so far that has you looking to even get 15K a month? That's just because I want to support my family, like I said earlier, man, to get financial freedom. No, I got you. I could just go play golf or tennis because if you're gonna put time and effort or something, the payoff needs to be worth it. So what does that look like for you? I had a brain fart. My fault. My fault. That's how that talk track comes into play. Um, but does that make sense to y'all? Did I fuck you up there? You want me to replay that? Let me know in the comments. Or once again, book a link immediately so I can sell you shit in the comments. All right. Um, all right, so let's kind of back up real quick. What have we gone over so far? We have gone over, oh shit, problem awareness, current situation, tangible outcome. This video is almost 30 minutes long. Damn. Answer this outcome they're looking for. We got the tangible outcome, something that's contextual to them. All right, what's their current situation? Where are they at? That's making them want to get out of it. Are they aware of their problem? Okay. Are we still there? Yeah, we are on problem awareness. Once we understand that they're aware of their problem, they've articulated their current situation, we have all this ammo, and we understand where they're looking to get, that's when it really gets fun. That's when you can start getting into, pre-handling all that jazz, not too far from now, right? Is that what we're going to next? Boom. There we go. So we got the discovery phase, got them to open up. Now we're getting the pre-handling. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over pre-handling, ideal criteria, future pacing, cost of inaction, and pitch in another video. Because this is getting a little long. I can make a video on objection handling, all sorts of shit for y'all in depth, but I'm gonna just cut this off now. Appreciate you for watching. Once again, if you do need help implementing this, it's not even a hard sell. I actually do partner with some creators. Done 8 million in copy, have closed over 1 million in revenue myself. Worked with people such as my partner Chase Hughes. So I get a couple 7-figure agencies. Currently helping him out with his new venture getting into. Can't say too much about that as we are in the preliminary phases of what he's launching. But I've also worked under guys like Jace England, Luke Alexander, fucking, I could keep going on. And I've got some pretty cool folks around me. So a lot of the systems I use help folks out. A lot of these talk tracks are used by your top guys in info. So like if you need help with anything, you can shoot me a DM and I'll probably have an answer for you surrounding something. But definitely when it comes to the sales side, shoot me a question. I'll fuck with you on it. All right. But that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Got some value out of this. If you want to contact me, just go ahead and do it. All right. Peace out, y'all. Bye.